Hello and welcome back to the FPL Time YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be covering the best Game Week 8 wildcard. It has been a massive turn of events in the past 24 hours. Obviously the Chelsea-Liverpool game's been called off, the Man United-Leeds game's been called off, the Brighton game we already knew about. Things have massively changed since I made my last wildcard video, and even I'm now on my wildcard. I said previously that I was waiting until Game Week 9. Things have now changed. We're going for Game Week 8, and this is the current wildcard that I am on. If you do enjoy the video, if you do enjoy the content that you see on the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe to the FPL Time YouTube channel, as we are trying to hit 750 subs by the end of September. I believe we can do it. It's probably like 100 something off, so you know, if we could do it, it would be absolutely amazing. But yeah, that's enough waffle from me. Let's get into the Game Week 8 wildcard. And to start off today's draft, we are going to go with Bazunu in goal. And I've gone for this kind of goalkeeper pairing. I mentioned this in the last wildcard video that I did. So I've gone for Bazunu and Gaeta. Bazunu has a really good next two fixtures, Aston Villa and Everton, and also plays Bournemouth in Game Week 12. So really good kind of free fixtures there. And then Gaeta has pretty amazing fixtures after Game Week 10 all the way up to kind of the World Cup. So I really like this as a goalkeeper pairing. Seen a lot of people going for Nick Pope as well, but I am a little bit cautious of kind of the Newcastle double up at the back. So I'm potentially not going to look in that way. So I've gone Bazunu, gone Gaeta, just to kind of get the best out of both of those keepers, get the best out of both of those teams as well in terms of defensive numbers. Both have been quite leaky at the back. Southampton have only kept one clean sheet, and Palace have had actually really poor XG conceded this year, but they have faced Arsenal, Manchester City and Liverpool, so that's kind of to be expected. Obviously there's a nice run of fixtures now coming, so we do expect kind of a reverse and more kind of where they were at last season in terms of expected data. Moving into the back line, we start with Emerson, cheap 4 million defender, played the last 3 fixtures for West Ham. Obviously there has been an injury in their back line. I think it's to Cresswell, so that's why he's been playing, but who knows, he might keep his place, he might not. He is one that is kind of up for contention. Scored in the Europa League as well against FCSB. Bit of a bumbly goal. Don't expect him to do that every single week. Obviously, as you can see on our bench, we do have Fofana and Reece James. They'll be playing week in, week out for me. Emerson is kind of that nice 4 million pick who has really good fixtures coming up. Everton, Wolves, Fulham, Southampton, and then it's Liverpool, Bournemouth, Manchester United and Crystal Palace. So an easy kind of hold. Obviously at 4 million, he's going to be our kind of first sub, second sub most weeks. We're not going to be too disconcerted with his fixtures, especially with other players that we do have within the back line of this team. Obviously Fofana and James, really good fixtures. And if Graham Potter can sort out that defence, it is going to be absolutely huge. But I've included Emerson, nice 4 million pick, good fixture for Game Week 8 as well to cover Fofana and James as they don't have a fixture. Moving on to the next defender, we have Kieran Trippier. Now, Newcastle's next 3 fixtures are absolutely flipping amazing. Bournemouth, Fulham and Brentford. After that, it does get a little bit more tricky. Manchester United, Everton, Tottenham, Aston Villa and Southampton. Currently the second highest scoring defender, second most attempted assists behind Trent Alexander-Arnold, on set plays, on corners, absolute bonus point machine so far this season as well. I think that's just because the amount of crosses that he's able to put in. On free kicks as well, has a wonderful free kick ability. We all kind of have fond memories of Croatia in 2018, so we all know what this man is capable of. That Bournemouth fixture at home as well, absolute green tick. I think his ownership's gone plus 30% as well in the past few days as well, and there's no surprise for that. Really good. Newcastle have looked really good as well at the start of this season, so a real no-brainer for those kind of next 3 fixtures and beyond, because he's been pretty good as Trippier as well, pretty solid. And with Fofana and James on a bench as well, we do have that option of rotation within this side. The next player we're going to talk about is João Cancelo, currently the highest scoring defender within the game. And yeah, City have the best XG conceded and are just the best defence in the league at the moment. There's no getting away from that, so you do expect kind of their clean sheets to kind of return. Obviously been a little bit wayward in the past few weeks, but I do imagine that will kind of return as things come. Something that a little bit concerning with João Cancelo is kind of his underlying data, 0.18 XG and 0.27 expected assists, but put an amazing performance against Sevilla in the Champions League, kind of the Cancelo of old, the Cancelo that we're kind of used to seeing. So be very interesting to see if he can kind of get back up to those levels within the Premier League. Wolves away is actually kind of a tricky fixture. Wolves are currently, I think, a 4th or 5th in terms of XG conceded, and I've only conceded 4 goals this season, and 2 of them were on the opening day against Leeds, so they're not like kind of conceding lots of opportunities. But this is a Manchester City side. They are very, very good at breaking teams down, and Wolves as well have been absolutely dreadful going forward. Very impotent, very, very impotent going forward. So I do expect City to keep a clean sheet there. But yeah, that was kind of the defence. Obviously, we'll touch on Fofana and Reece James a little bit later when we go through the bench. But yeah, that was the defence. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know, is there any players that you're looking to include? But let's move on to the midfield within this side. And moving into the midfield, we start with Gabriel Martinelli. Had a really, really good start to the season, and I'm keeping him in for 1 more week within this team. 3 goals, 1 assist, 36 points. Brentford away the next fixture, and then it's Tottenham and Liverpool. Very difficult. In between that, then they've got Leeds and Manchester City. So not a good run coming up for Arsenal, and I think that's why we've kind of got to get away from these Arsenal assets. They've been really, really good to us, and that's why I'm giving Martinelli kind of his last show out, last kind of parade out. I was going to go for Rashford, but obviously that fixture was kind of taken away from us. So we're sticking with Martinelli for 1 more week, and then we may move to kind of drop him down to a Leon Bailey, maybe try and spread some funds out, go up to Zaha as well, who's got really good fixtures after kind of game week 10 that we want to be targeting. So there is kind of a plan in for Martinelli to move him on, but for kind of this kind of fixtureless, I think there's only 7 fixtures going ahead, kind of blank game week, that's the word I'm looking for, blank game week, that I want to have Martinelli in for this week. Good fixture, Brentford away. Brentford haven't been the best in terms of defensive numbers so far this season. Arsenal have looked very good. Want to be getting back to kind of where they were before the United game. Obviously they didn't play awful, they just kind of got hit on the counter, and that was that. Gabriel Martinelli, like I said, really good player, but he is going to move after this week. Moving on to the next player, it is a man I've kind of been harping on about for the past 2 videos. It is Jarrod Bowen. Like I said, pure punt in this one. He's probably going to make me look like an absolute punt as well for including him. But yeah, the reason I've included Bowen is mainly down to West Ham's amazing fixtures. Everton, Wolves, Fulham and Southampton. Obviously at the moment was an absolute monster. Like incredible some of the stuff he did last year, but so far this season, 0 goals, 0 assists, and very, very poor underlying data. So not what I want to see from a player, but there is some positive encouragement. He does look like he's potentially on penalties. The good fixtures coming up, and he's going to be playing for that England spot in November. He's got to do something magical within this kind of next 8-9 game weeks to kind of get himself back into Gareth Southgate's thinking, because I think a lot of other players have upped their marks and I think he's just dropped off a cliff at the moment. So if he wants to go on the plane, he's got to put in some good performances, and with West Ham's good fixtures coming up, I do believe that he is that option. Obviously if he doesn't perform, I may just drop him down to a Zaha or completely drop him down below that. Or yeah, that's kind of the thought process with Bowen at the moment. Let me know, have I convinced you to potentially take a punt on Jarrod Bowen? Continuing with the vibes, players only, you know, players who've done absolutely nothing, but we're just here for the vibes, is Heung-min Son, another player who's absolutely looked off it this season. Last year was a joint Golden Boot winner. This season, not scored a goal yet. Nope. And he's in this draft. Crazy. 17 points, 1 assist, and has looked miles off it, but he is the player who has the highest XG and not scored a goal yet. Leicester at home is a fantastic fixture for Spurs. If he doesn't score or get an assist out of this one, then I don't know what to do with Son anymore. Honestly, he was an absolute troll for me last year. Took him out in game week 31 and then he just went on and absolutely destroyed it. Killed my rank. I think I was going to get like a top 80k finish. Ended up finishing about 170 because I took Son out for Kane in my game week 31 wildcard draft. Idiot. Absolute idiot. But yeah, do subscribe to this channel because I provide quality content like that and make the right decisions. But yeah, Son is in here again, continuing the vibes FC. I may switch him to kind of KDB. Obviously, I'm kind of having flashbacks to Molineux away last season where KDB absolutely destroyed it, absolutely killed it. So I'm a little bit under contention with this one. Do I go KDB? Do I go Son? Which way are you kind of feeling more towards at the moment? Continuing with Vibes FC, as we're going to call them now, is James Maddison. 2 goals, 1 assist, 22 points so far this season. Another player who's kind of not living up to where he was last year. Last year, 12 goals, 11 assists. Obviously plays Tottenham in game week 8. You could bench him for Andreas Pereira. It's a bit of one of them, you know, half a dozen of the other kind of vibe. But really amazing fixtures after that. Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Leeds, Wolves, Manchester City, but then Everton. So a pretty good hold till the World Cup. Obviously, as well, Brendan Rodgers could be getting sacked pretty soon, so we could potentially have that kind of new manager bounce within James Maddison, and another player who potentially could be on the plane to kind of the World Cup with Gareth Southgate, but again, has got to do a lot of work within this kind of next 8-week period, so it will be interesting to see kind of if that kind of works. But yeah, that was the midfield within this side. Obviously, a lot of people own Martinelli, and I'd suggest keeping him for one more week. But what do you think to Vibes FC, Bowen, Son and Maddison? Or have I convinced you to potentially take a punt, or are you going to go for some different options? Let me know down in the comments below. But let's move on to our forward options within our side. And starting off the front line, of course it was going to be this man. There was no way I was not going to have this man in my team. The most owned player in FPL, and for absolutely good reason. 10 goals, 1 assist, 67 points scored for Erling Haaland. Back-to-back hat-tricks. If you include the Champions League, he's 12 in 7 at the moment. Obviously, this is before the Dortmund game. Absolutely killing it. And City's fixtures, they're a little bit mixed, aren't they? Wolves, Man United, Southampton, Liverpool, Arsenal, Brighton, Leicester, Fulham and Brentford. So kind of after the Liverpool and Arsenal game, it does kind of brighten up for them. In between that, Wolves and Southampton, and Manchester United as well, you know, at home, at the Etihad. Who knows what Haaland could do in that one. He's been honestly absolutely incredible. I think he'll be my captain for kind of game week 8. Obviously, I did mention that Wolves have been pretty good defensively, and that does concern me, especially if Haaland plays in the Champions League and plays a full 90 there as well. I will be a little bit concerned. I think Son could be a potential captaincy shout as well. Leicester at home is a very, very nice fixture. I know he's not been doing it, and I know it's pure vibes. There's no kind of data or reasoning behind it. KDB as well against Wolves, got a really good record. Obviously, last time he played at the Molineux, destroyed it. So he's another captaincy shout, but I am kind of leaning towards Haaland at the moment. I don't think there's much else to say really about Haaland. Absolutely killing it. Good-ish fixtures coming up for the next few, but I don't think that really matters with him. You probably want the harder fixtures because you know at least he's going to play then. But let's move on to a man who's been included as well in a few videos this week so far. It is Isaac, whoever knows, whoever cares, from Newcastle. Again, we mentioned that Bournemouth, Fulham, Brentford fixture, similar to Trippier. Really, really good fixtures. The man's had really good underlying data as well. I think he's well above where he is for expected data. 1 goal so far scored on his debut against Liverpool. Yeah, I really like him. Really like that Bournemouth fixture. And then obviously, if it doesn't work out, there's the move to Tony. There's a move to Dominic Solanke. You've also got Gabriel Jesus when Arsenal's fixtures kind of turn after, I think it's game week 12 or 13. So if you want to go back up to him, there is that kind of option. I like him as a kind of a little 3-week punt. We'll see how he gets on. And then obviously we have more kind of dependable options like Tony. And again, another risk to Dominic Solanke. Say if another midfielder option performs, or I want to get Salah back in, that is the easy way that we can do that within our team, as there's a dog barking apparently. But let's move on to the final forward within the side. It is Alexander Mitrovic, another player who I've been absolutely harping on about, and I think everyone's going to have him within their teams. It wouldn't surprise me after this game week if his ownership hits like 50, because if he absolutely kills it against Nottingham Forest, which he easily could, as they are the worst team for XG conceded, then honestly, the sky's the limit. The sky's the absolute limit. This man has been killing it. 6 in 6 for him so far, on penalties as well. Has the second best XG in the league and most shots in the league. In terms of XG, he's only behind one man, and we all know who that one man is. It's Erling Haaland. But yeah, really good fixtures. Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, West Ham, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Leeds, Everton. And then game week 15 and 16, it is Manchester City and Manchester United. So at that point, you potentially could take him out. But so far, scored against Liverpool. He's looked pretty fixture proof as well at the moment, scored against Spurs as well. So, you know, the good fixtures are there, and I definitely think a lot of people are going to have him in their teams, and for good reason as well. Like, the fixtures are absolutely immense, and he's an immense player, absolutely killing it from his record-breaking championship season. Continued that form and took it into the Premier League. Let's run through the bench very quickly. Gaeta, we've already spoke about. Fofana and James are the main two that we're going to speak about here. Chelsea are currently 9th for kind of XG conceded. Not the best, and we've kind of seen that Reece James has been playing right centre-back, but with Fofana's inclusion into the Chelsea side, it does look that he's going to kind of go back to that right wing-back spot, which is absolute gold dust for us. Chelsea, amazing fixtures as well till the World Cup, so I definitely think the double up is on. You've also got the fact that you've got a new manager bounce with Graham Potter coming in, and Graham Potter has always kind of done really well in terms of kind of the defensive data for his sides. So far this season, Brighton were 3rd for expected goals conceded, so you can see what kind of work Graham Potter is able to do with that defence if he can get that sorted. And we have a Chelsea double up. Fofana at 4.4 as well is an absolute steal. Absolute steal. But yeah, that was the Game Week 8 kind of updated draft. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. Let me know, have I convinced you to take potentially a punt on any player. Thank you very much for watching. Whew, I'll take a breath. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you do have any comments or any kind of questions, do leave them down below in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and good luck in Game Week 8.